All of us dream of escaping and discovering adventure in exotic lands. One of the lands that conjures up thoughts of such travel is Brazil. In our industry, the jewelry field, travel to Brazil ties in naturally and directly with our profession. So, with an instinctive love for colored gemstones and a determination to know more, we decided to travel to the country that yields the highest concentration of colored gems in the world today, Brazil. Traveling to the source country provides us with incomparable insight and understanding of how these beautiful products of the rock cycle are formed and recovered. After Brazil's discovery by the Portuguese in the 1500s, its early history was shaped in a large part by the search for gold and precious stones. Today, Brazil is known for its amazing people, landscape, samba, and the world's largest party, Carnival. But most importantly to us, Brazil produces the greatest variety of gems in the world. Brazil is truly a paradise of colored gemstones. We'll focus briefly on the area with the highest concentration of gemstones, the state of Minas Gerais, which is located in the southeast central portion of the country. The name Minas Gerais means general mines. The land is rich with mineral deposits, and the search for treasure is a constant thread throughout the history of mankind. Probably the most exciting mining area that we visited was the Capoeirana Emerald Mines in the state of Minas Gerais. The Capoeirana mine is located in a mere 4-hectare land lot near Nova Era and was discovered in 1988, and ever since has been producing the best emeralds mined in Brazil. As in many other gem mining areas, the mining was done by the legendary garimpeiro, or independent prospector. The host rock here is talc schist that extends in subterranean veins, and scattered within are emerald crystals. Mining is accomplished by shafts dug into the earth until a schist vein is encountered. The vein is followed, creating subterranean chambers. Access to the chambers is by leather straps fixed around the thighs, and descent is made by a rope activated manually or by electric motors.
And after you've come down 200 feet on the shaft, you ride this cart all the way down another 200-300 feet till you finally get to where they're pulling out the schist that has the emerald in it. Quite a commute to work, eh?
Schist is removed by ropes and buckets, and then sorted above ground by chipping away the host rock in search of the coveted gemstone, emerald. To fasten those leather straps around your legs and experience being lowered several hundred feet below the Earth's surface is an indescribable thrill. The excitement of crawling through the subterranean chambers is the best romancing the stone adventure you will ever have, knowing that with a little luck, just maybe, you'll encounter a beautiful green gem crystal. When it's time to wrap the straps around your legs and secure a firm grip on the lifeline for the ascent out of the mine, you can bet most of us make a promise to return. As we ascend up the shaft, the darkness is brightened by a stream of sunlight. Then that stream of light turns to daylight, and the realization and exhilaration of first-hand experience becomes permanently embedded in your mind. The Belmont Emerald Mine is only a short drive, but a totally different operation. Originally a farm, they've been mining for emeralds since 1978. For the above-ground mining, they use heavy equipment to strip tons of soil off the side of the hill, then terracing to keep the rain from washing emeralds into the nearby stream. When the area is depleted of emeralds, it is painstakingly returned to the natural state. The goal of the Belmont mine is to leave the environment as it originally was, once the emeralds have been mined. They calculate that the ore body on the hill runs diagonally downward and underground.
I'm at the famous Belmont Emerald Mine in Itachi, Brazil, and we're about ready to go underground and look at the mechanized operations.
They mine exclusively by blasting because the rock is too hard. and the emerald too scarce to make it economical to mine by hand. From the main shaft they have tunnels, or levels, going horizontally along the ore body, and sub-levels that go upward from the main tunnels. Large underground mining equipment moves the ore. And massive drilling rigs prepare the next area for blasting. Once the rock gets to the processing plant, powerful jets of water separate the material. Carried by water and conveyor belts, the material goes through automated sorting and crushing operations in preparation for a final machine that detects the emerald crystals. This machine is the latest in mining technology, using computerized cameras and jets of air to pick out the emeralds on the fly.
This is the washing and sorting area of the Belmont Emerald Mine, where they break things into the different size pieces, and it goes up the different conveyors depending on its size.
The mine produces about 10 kilos of emeralds per month, of which only about 20% are good quality. Ouro Preto is a 17th century colonial city that seems to be frozen in time and surrounded by the mountains and mines. It presents, through its cobblestone streets, a large part of the history, not only of Minas Gerais, but also of the whole country. The Baroque style is throughout the city, revealing works of art in houses, facades, monuments, and mainly at churches and museums. Fittingly, the region is also home to one of Brazil's most beautiful gemstones, imperial topaz. Imperial topaz happens to be one of the most valuable gemstones because of its beauty and its rarity. The topaz called imperial has its origins in Russia, where the first mines were found and depleted in the time of the Tsars. Hence, this incredible stone was granted a nobility fit for emperors. The Capão mine has been in operation for 32 years, with pits opened and then covered over as they're mined out. As with the Belmont mine, Capão is very environmentally responsible. A bulldozer at the bottom of the pit pushes loose soil to one of the two dragline scrapers. Huge metal scoops that are hauled by a mechanized pulley system to the top of the pit. There, the dirt is washed away using high-power water jets. And then a jig sorts the remaining rocks by size and feeds the smaller pieces onto a sorting belt where the hand sorting takes place.
This is the Capão Imperial Topaz Mine in Rodrigo Silva. This is the only working Imperial Topaz mine in the world. This is the final sorting belt where all the minerals are sorted from the rock.
At Capão, they wash about 400 tons of dirt a day, or 8,000 tons a month, which yields about 30 kilograms of topaz. The problem is that imperial topaz tends to be very included. You need to look down the crystal lengthwise to see if there's any facetable material at the core. The yield of facet-grade material is only about 2% of the rough production, and not all of that is good color. Imperial topaz is the definition of rarity.
Standing 4,300 feet here above the city of Governador Valadares, with the Rio Doces River below me, the mountain peaks to my right, which contain the pegmatites that have given us the gems that we've brought home to you to help complete their journey.
The landscape changes as you leave the lush forests of Ouro Preto and Itabira for the more remote Governor Valadares. The landscape gets harsher and the living gets harder too. Ironically, this rich gem-producing area is one of the poorest in Brazil. Leaving the city of Governor Valadares behind, we head into the countryside on our way to the village of Galilea to visit the Navigator and the Itachi Aya mines. The road, well, it's more of a trail to the mine, heads right into, then up the side of the mountain. The view is amazing.
I'm here with Ann, 3,000 feet high at the ridge near the Navigator mine, where they've started mining mica originally years ago. They now work on tourmalines, garnets, aquamarines, and other gems that they're lucky to find through some very hard backbreaking work.
The mine consists of large incline shafts down to massive chambers with stone pillars holding the roof of the chambers. Heavy equipment and blasting is used to move the bulk of the rock. Once a pocket of garnets and tourmaline is found, great care is taken opening the pocket by hand. In the afternoon, we visit the Itachi Aya Mine. In a location almost as remote as the Navigator mine, the Itachi Aya Mine requires a long hike along a walking trail. No heavy equipment is used in the Itachi Aya Mine. The way in is a long, narrow adit, which is a tunnel with only one end opening to the outside that is supported with timber sets and partially filled with water. With a diverse variety of minerals, the main extraction of the Itachi Aya mine happens to be blue and green tourmaline, and all the colors of the species beryl, including the varieties of aquamarine and emerald. However, columbite, quartz, feldspar, and mica are also produced in this prolific and amazing mine. Now back to Governor Valadares, to the Cutting and Buying Center. We start with a cutting factory tour. The first stage is inspection of the rough crystal. Then the stone is sawed to the proper shape. In most gem sawing, a thin circular blade literally scratches its way through a gemstone. The blade, usually composed of steel, copper, or a bronze alloy, is impregnated along the outer edge with diamond grit and rotating at several thousand surface feet per minute. A liquid such as oil or water is used to wash away cutting debris and keep the stone and the saw blade from overheating. After a gemstone is sawed and ground to the desired shape and sanded to remove rough marks left by coarser grits, it is usually polished to a mirror-like finish to aid light reflection from the surface of the stone. Very fine grades of diamond can be used to polish a wide variety of materials, but other polishing agents work well in many instances. Polishing removes small quantities of stone and can be used, especially when faceting small stones, to do ultra-fine shaping of the stone. A skilled gemstone cutter is both an artist and sculptor. The polished gemstone is the combination of the artistry of nature and that of the skilled gemstone cutter. But now is the time we have been waiting for. We have an amazing opportunity to select gemstones right off the polishing wheel. We are in the buying rooms of the Sabag Group.
Traveling to Brazil gave me the opportunity to visit 6 different mines, from a very highly mechanized mine of pulling out beautiful emerald like this, to a mine where they had to crawl on their hands and knees to find one imperial topaz crystal like this.
A jeweler would normally buy a colored gemstone from a wholesaler who bought it from an importer who purchased it from here. You can see the automatic price advantage in buying directly from the Sabag Group. But with price aside, the selection is unbelievable. With so many variables in colored gemstones, different hues of color, clarity, and shapes, some stones just look better.
I knew the gemstones of Brazil would be very impressive, but being able to look at so many aquamarines and beryls and emeralds just far exceeded the expectations of what I ever thought possible coming to Brazil.
This is our chance to handpick the best before any other buyer has a shot. The Brazilian gemstone mine tours are the experience of a lifetime. The beautiful Brazilian gemstone inventory we acquire and will maintain is an asset that sets us apart. The relationships with the miners, cutters, and dealers give us a clear advantage that we would never have without traveling directly to the source.
My membership in the IGO has given me the unique opportunity to travel to the mines of the world in Brazil here, where we've crawled on our hands and knees, we've walked through big tunnels to find emeralds, and bring them back to you to complete the journey of the gemstone from deep in the earth to your hand.